Usually the last Saturday of the month, I like to do a newcomers training and kind of cover some things that we don't normally cover in a lot of the other weekly trainings. And this kind of help you get a little more acclimated to the process, where things are, and so forth. So assuming that most all of you have completed your onboarding, if you haven't, make sure you get that done. But this is your TruPowur agent quick launch menu where you can have access to pretty much everything right from here. And so it's real easy. Once you pull that up in your Chrome browser, it's at agent.trupower.com. You can simply right click on there, pin that, and then it will stay attached to the Chrome browser. So the next time you open it, you don't have to go looking for it. It'll automatically be there. You may have another Google page in front of it, but it'll still be over there on the left-hand side. So anyways, at the top of the list, we have the link to the corporate website, which is at trupower.org. And then, of course, we have a link to the front of the platform, the pricing platform, which is at TruPowur.com. And then the back of the platform, to the back of that same side, is the second button. And then, of course, the top black button here to submit utility audits. And then there's a button for some resources attached to there. And of course, the Zoom button, which most of you probably used to get here today. Submit your daily activity. That lets support kind of know where you are on your lead status, to kind of keep abreast of that. If you do need additional leads, there's a button here where you can fill out a quick form, and then support will supply you with that. If you're having any kind of connectivity issues, you can certainly click check your speed, so that the system will come up and then do a quick analysis to see what your internet connection is, so you can kind of eliminate some of those questions in your mind. Some of the PDF tools, which is very handy. Sometimes customers will take a picture of a bill and send it to you. We would like to have that in a PDF format, so it's real simple. You can come over here and use this JPEG to PDF. So you just upload the image and it'll convert it to a PDF for you. A lot of other handy tools in here, so you can take a look at that at any time. ESID search is primarily for Texas customers. Sometimes the suppliers do not include the information that you want on the electric bill, and you may need to look that up. And so it's a real simple tool in order to look up the ESID numbers. And so if you put in the zip code, and once you start typing the address, it'll start populating information, so you can find out which ESID number for the particular address that you're looking for. And then, of course, some of the gift promotions that we offer that you can use to give customers. For whatever reason, I like to use them as just a way of saying thank you. It's been a couple years since we've had some promotions like that, so it's really kind of nice. And we've put together a pretty extensive list of things that you can offer people, just so that you know, when you submit a utility audit, support is going to automatically create a trip that is going to include 2 round-trip airfare tickets and hotel accommodations for 2, coming from you and in their name. So we'll cover that here in just a moment. So that is the quick launch menu. The first thing that we want to go over is looking in your Dropbox. So every one of you have access to a Dropbox. It might be web-based, and so it will look a little bit different than what you're seeing on my screen, but In each one of your Dropbox, you're going to find a folder for audit, gifts, leads, sales, and solar information. And of course, your TruPowur welcome packet. That's probably the first thing you should go through because it'll kind of give you a quick little overview of the platform. In there, you're going to have the table of contents, a welcome aboard letter, what to do to get started on how to log into the pricing platform, as well as navigating the dashboard, entering a customer information, enrolling a customer, commission information, compliance, and about our rewards program for brokers, and some social media information. Other than that, the best place to start is the step-by-step instructions, which is going to kind of walk you through what you need to do first. So let's jump right over there, and I'll blow that up for us. And so from here, you're going to see that this is basically the step-by-step. Open your lead file from the TruPowur Dropbox, which is going to be in the leads folder. You can open that from there, and then open your Grasshopper app. I've closed mine so we won't get disturbed during the meeting, and then just copy the customer's phone numbers from the lead source into your Grasshopper app, and then using the audit script, which is a guideline. You can find that in the, let's see here. It is going to be right under audits, and you have a PDF version, which is going to make it very easy for you to print out. But we're also going to look at using the sample email template. And so the link that's included in that template will not copy from a PDF. So we've included a Word doc that you can take and copy that from so that it keeps the link true. So let's go ahead and open the script. There we go. All right, so the simple phone script is pretty straightforward. We're making contact with the individual who is responsible for controlling the cost of the company and letting them know that we perform audits to provide them a refund on billing discrepancies or erroneous overcharges dating back 36 to 48 months. And so depending on the statute of limitations for state to state, a lot of people don't know that the onus and responsibility of making sure that the utility is correct is on the customer, not the utility. So let me see if I can blow this up a little bit bigger. Is that going to be too big? No, that's good. So the onus and responsibility of making sure that the utility bill is correct is on the customer, not the utility. They're overcharging customers to the tune of $60 billion a year plus. So it's really important. And isolating our conversation to the utility audit is instrumental because the utility audit opens up all the other doors. So once you get a copy of the utility bill, then it's real easy to start looking at all of the other aspects that we can provide services for them. But until you have the utility bill, you really can't do anything anyway. So why not take the path of least resistance with the greatest amount of benefit for the customer and start with the utility audit? And I think John would probably attest to that. Am I right?
You know, you are, because I was actually doubtful. I wanted to go the hard way first, thinking that it was the easiest way. And no, the util audit is way easier to sell.
There you go. Well, it's providing a customer a huge value. Put yourself in the mindset of the customer, especially right now into the pandemic. You know, one of the benefits that we have at TruPowur is that we can renew a customer's contract as long as their current contract is within 2 years of expiration. Well, let's take that to the nth degree and say that that customer's contract expires exactly 2 years from now, and we're talking to the customer about renewing their electricity contract. Well, in the heat of, you know, the pandemic and a lot of the things that are going on, you know, this customer is looking at you like, look, I don't even know if I'm going to be in business 2 years from now if things don't change with this pandemic. So it puts them in a different mindset when you talk about the utility audit, because it's going to provide them capital that they can inject into their business. So we don't talk about solar, we don't talk about electricity contracts or motor controls or power factor correction or LED lighting or any of the other things that we can do. We want to solely talk about the utility audit. It's going to provide them capital potentially that will inject into their business. So everybody wants money. And they probably don't want to go into debt. They don't want to borrow the money. So this is a great way. So it puts their mind in a different type of a mindset. Plus, they can't wait to hear from you because they want to know how much they're getting back. So we're going to go through the process of sending them an email to request that bill. And for most of you, it's really, really simple. I like to create a template to make life a little easier. So if you go into your email and click on write, and if any of you have had this issue where the logo did not show up because Thunderbird has done an upgrade, and the upgrade has kind of stripped out the link. So I'm going to show you real quick how to fix that just in case it happens to you. But double click on the logo, click choose file, and it should automatically know the folder that it's in. Click OK, OK, and then you will have to strip out that and then get rid of that space right there, and then hit file, save as file, which is going to save it, and then put it in wherever your files are saved, wherever your name signature is located, and save it, and then it'll be fixed from then on. So anyways, let me go back in here. And so what we're going to do is, let's go back over here. So we're going to copy the subject line, and we're going to paste it in there. And then we're going to take the body of this customer first name. You may want to include some of this other stuff with it as well. And paste that in here. There we go. And so you can kind of clean this up a little bit. But now the link is good. Let's get rid of that dead space. And then all you need to do is save as template. So now let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And so now when you get ready to send that out, look in your templates folder, and there you go. So the email will be there. So all you need to do is open that up, make sure that you put the customer's first and last name in there, and then their first name in here, and hit send before you send it. Don't send it with it says customer's name. So might look a little odd. So that's how you can set up a template. Once you send the email to the customer, all they need to do is reply to the email, attach a copy of their utility bill. And once you get that, what do we do with it next, John?
Upload it into the system.
Upload it to the utility auditors, right? So we're going to click on this top bar here. And from here, real simple, you're going to put in your name and information. You're the submitter. Um, the new client contact information, you know, Bob, Frank, whatever their name is, their title and phone number and email. And then, of course, some company information, the company name, street address, and if they have a website and their phone numbers and things like that. And then their audit information. Has the client been audited before? Probably not. Business description, you know, the company could be called PDQ Inc. Well, what does PDQ Inc. do? They manufacture widgets. Okay, so put that in there. They're a manufacturer of widgets or whatever it is that they do, just to make it a little bit easier for classification, and include any special notes. That is just between you and the auditor, something that might be key for you to remember or for them to know. And then, of course, we're including a copy of the electric bill because that's what the customer sent to you. And then click here to attach a copy of that electric bill and submit. That's it. Once the auditors get it, they'll give you a confirmation of that. But then you also have a copy of the electric bill. So what do we want to do with the electric bill after we've received it? We've submitted it to the utility auditors. And so now, what do you think the next step is, John?
I would go into my back office and try to check for matrix pricing, see if we can beat it.
There you go. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go into our back office, which is right here. And we're going to want to add them as a new customer so that we can import that information in there real easy. Now, I will tell you this. It is a lot easier to take and open a copy of the bill and then open a notepad, because you can sit here and see what's over here on the left while you're typing in notepad, just because it makes it easier to copy and paste rather than trying to remember and write it down and back and forth. Just makes life a little easier. So when you go into your back office and you're ready to add that customer's information, we're going to add new customer. And I'm going to leave that for there right now. And the zip code is right here. Put that in. And I'm going to leave that the way it is for the moment. I do know that it's not ComEd, it's Mid-America. And it says there's no plans available. Well, I knew that already, but most of the ones you do will. This one is going to be custom pricing. Since they're not in a deregulated area, we still can do custom pricing for customers that are not in a deregulated area. So we're going to hit submit, and we're going to take and enter the customer's information in here. So you'll notice that I put the name the same way it is on the bill, all in caps. And then, of course, we've got the contact for the decision maker. And I'll do this real fast if you can kind of keep up with me a little bit. There we go. And the address. And here we go. It's already in there. So phone number. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here in both locations, the same number. And the email. And so from here, we're going to come down and we're going to put in the first location. So we're going to have to copy this one more time. We're going to put that in there. And let's see, everything else is good. We do need the account number. So we'll put that in there. And their usage, which is right here, we're going to include that. And their current supplier is Mid-America. And I'm going to get a copy of that bill. And that is right there. So we're going to include the first one there. And then we're going to add another location because I know that they have 2 locations. And so this one is got a different address. So we're going to put that in there. And the zip code. There we go. And the account number, because we're going to take and aggregate the usage together. And their usage is right here. And I got all of this stuff off of the electric bill just to make things a little bit faster today rather than hand typing all of this stuff out. And then, of course, let's get the other bill, which is right here, the second location. And click Submit. So on the validation of address, you can see where I had actually spelt road out, where the suggested is abbreviated. So we'll go ahead and accept, and accept, and accept, and then hit submit again. There we go. So now it's verify on the verify page, just so that you can see everything kind of spelled out. You can kind of take a look at this, and let's see here. Everything looks pretty good. So we'll click submit. And now that customer's information is added to the platform. You can see both of the bills are attached down here below. And so from here, because this customer is not in a deregulated area, there's not going to be any rates available for this customer in that specific area. So we are going to have to do custom pricing, which is the same as doing an auction. And so what we'll do is click on request price. And how many mills do we want in there, John?
5, unless it's a really tight deal, then you might want to reduce it.
I think there's room for 5 mills because they're at 10.9 and 11.9. So let's leave it like that. We'll do fixed all in. Let's take a look at some 60 month. Let's add another one. What do you want, 48 month?
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll do a 48 month. Anything else? You want 36 or anything like that?
As long as possible, as long as we can keep them under contract, the better. But yeah, sure, put it in 36.
Okay, so we can take and add in another one, which is 36. And so basically what we're doing is we're saying, okay, I want to see what the rates are for, 60-month contracts, 48-month contracts, and 36-month contracts. But every once in a while, what if there's a contract that is what we call a sweet spot deal that is 58 months? Well, the suppliers will not include that in there unless we've included that special instruction. So I always like to do that by please include any sweet spot deals available. So they'll include that as well. And then we can go right here and include customer. And so what is going to happen is when you include the customer, it's going to send them a link. So you have that transparency. They can watch the bidding process, because if this allows the uh, suppliers to come in and bid and counter bid, one against the other, and so the customer can see that and in transparency. And then of course click create session, and that'll kick it off. I'm not going to do it right now because I want to talk to you a little bit about it later, John. But that's all you need to do to create an auction. If this customer was in a deregulated area, you would be able to click on views today's rates, and you would be able to look at all of the pricing that is available in the matrix pricing. So let's go back over here to the dashboard. So you'll see now that that customer has actually been added in here. And so I'm going to bring something to all of your attention right now. So these three factors right here, the contract number, that is an internal contract number. That is not the contract number for the customer on their electricity contract. That's just TruPower's internal contract that lets us know. It usually starts with the state, and then and a number sequence that basically tells you how many customers. So this one right here is in Illinois, and it is the 11,287th customer entered into the system in the Illinois area. So these three things stay. You can't change that, but everything else over here you can change the sorting. So if you want these to be in a different sort, you can certainly do that. You can also edit the way all of this looks by changing these. These are some of the defaults that are already provided for you. Whatever you star is what is going to default to when you log in. If there's something different that you want to create, you can certainly go in here and turn things on and off, and you can create your own sorting, how you want all of this to look back here, and then you can give it a name. Once you give it a name, you can also say make this your default view, so the next time you log in, it'll automatically load that view. So if for whatever reason you like to have all of your your KWH up here in the front, and whatever information that you like to have, the contract date, maybe you want that up over here. However you want it to look, you can save it, and so the next time you log in, it's going to look that way. Make sense?
Okay.
So this is all editable. So quick little tour. Up here at the top is a little menu button that opens some information up here. So you've got news and resources, reports, market overview. Your news and resources is going to just take you to some pretty general information about what's going on in the market. Reports is going to give you access to commission forecast, paid commission quotes, renewals, site traffic, supplier compensation structures, things like that. Over here under market overview is going to bring up a map of the United States so that you can see commercial markets for custom pricing. You have all of the states. If you click on a state, it will actually show you the suppliers that are available in each one of those states. So for commercial markets, matrix pricing, and then for residential pricing as well as over here. So market data analytics is where you can go and look at different analytics for different markets, and we'll talk about this in a moment. But you have both electricity and natural gas, and you can select the state that you want to look at the analytics for and the supplier, and click Get Statistics, and this is going to show you based on the date range. Excuse me, it is going to go back 2 years and look ahead a year. So here's 2 years worth of statistics and a year's worth of forecasting moving forward. So you can see based on right here where we are pretty much now at 282 on the sum. Well, you can see that uh, you don't see 282 again for a year. So if that customer's contract expires within a year or less, is now the best time to renew the contract, or should we wait? Right now is obviously going to be far better than waiting till it's much higher. So this is a good way to forecast that. If you want to get rid of that, you can certainly just change that to today's date, and maybe we want to move and let's look at 2 years out. So we're just going to look at the forward market and no statistical market. And so there you go. So right here we're at 230 because we're just looking at energy. So 238, 233. So looks like right now is probably the best rate you're going to find for the next 2 years. So I would renew the contract now. Going back over to the dashboard, over here under menu again, you've got document templates and tasks, and then of course the tour of your home page. If you haven't taken that, it's real simple. It'll walk you through each step and kind of explain the hot links, what each one does. The task is, the area where it's going to be probably one of your most important parts of your dashboard, because anything that needs to be taken care of is going to show up in your tasks. Anything it'll show up in here. Let me click past this. Notifications is going to be updates pertaining to your dashboard, any software maintenance alerts or company related announcements, and then market updates. Some of you may periodically see some daily market updates. If you don't see it, you can always go into market updates, click on this, and it will show you what states have the commercial matrix rates that are the best or that have seen a significant change. So you've got Connecticut, DC, Maryland, New York, PA, Rhode Island. That was for electric, and of course here you have natural gas. And then you also have some residential matrix rates that are lower than the utility rates, which is not common. And so that's a keen time to take advantage of those opportunities. And so periodically, I probably would check on this once a day, just so you're kept abreast of what's going on. So any questions so far?
Can you just show me one more time how you got to that market update screen?
This right here?
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's right there where it says market updates and looks like a little graph. You can go back and look at any historical stuff there. So, all right. And so these three instant buttons, excuse me, add a new customer, which is what we just did, or you can do an instant quote. The only difference between add a new customer and instant new quote is add a new customer is you're going to enter all the customer's information, then put the quoting together, which I prefer, especially if I have the electric bill. And then I know I've got all of that information in the system. So once I've entered them, I can just click on that customer's contract number. It'll pull up the customer's information. And so a little bit about their electric. the customer's information, your information is going to be over here. And then, of course, you're able to look at today's rates and request special pricing. But if we want to just have a quick look at some pricing, we can do an instant quote and put in the zip code. And let's say this customer used 250,000 kWh. We'll leave it at the default of 5 mils. And it automatically defaulted to Encore, which is correct for that zip code. And let's say this customer uses, let's try to update here. It's going to do, there we go. All right, so before I do that, let's go down and take a quick peek at this. So we've got the supplier's information, the rate, the term, the savings, which shows nothing, and the estimated commission. Well, the reason there is no savings is because we haven't put what the customer is currently paying, so we know what to compare it to. So if this customer was currently paying, let's say 7 cents, and you don't need to put a .7 because that'll skew it. So just put 7. If you put 7.9, then that tells you it's 7.9 tenths of a cent. And so now when we update the system, we come down, it is actually going to show, it always shows 3 of the best, typically 12, 24, 36 of the top best rates that are available. Just below here, you do have what I call your quick analysis bar. It's taking all of the historical data, the forward motion from the statistics, and looking at the customer area and looking at all of the suppliers, and then basically analyzing all of that real quickly and putting it on a graph and showing you, is now really the best time to renew their contract? In other words, compared to now and until a year from now, which is better? Is today the best day for the rest of the year, or is it going to be another time in the future? So it's definitely in the green. That's a good thing. You can also look at your effective dates. So if you're trying to decide whether you want this to start in December or January or February, based on this information, looks like December is the best. It might be too small for you to see on your screen, but that says 3.6. January says 3.7, and then February is 3.77 as well. So anyway, so this is the best time to renew this particular customer's contract. You can also look at the rate calendar, which will allow you to move forward through the months, as well as the effective date, scrolling down, looking for those green periods when you can take advantage of different markets. But the easiest is to just come down here, and this is where you're going to see all of the suppliers that are available. Right now it's showing 81 total plans, but we're not showing everything that's available either. So if we go over here and filter the terms and select all, that's going to show 139 plans. And so right now it's sorting based on price. So it's going to take the best price and put it at the top, which is for a 1 month term. I don't need a 1 month term, but maybe if for some reason I knew that right now was a horrible time to renew your contract, but the customer called me and said, my contract expires tomorrow. I need to renew my contract. I'm like, well, this is not a good time. Next month will be much better. Then I might put them in a 1 month contract just to save their behind so that their rate doesn't triple over the next 30 days. And then once I get that signed, sealed, done, and delivered, then I can go back in next month and then renew their contract for a longer term when the rates are far better, if that was applicable for that situation. Otherwise, I like to come over here to where the sort is, change that to savings. So it's typically going to put the largest or the longest term contracts at the top of the list with the greatest amount of savings. Now, this customer is not a huge customer. They only use 250,000 kWh. And so the savings is $26,000, which is still not bad. I don't know anybody that would say, I don't know, does that pay for like half a Lexus or something? And it affords you $6,200 of estimated commission. So obviously that doesn't hurt your feelings any. So if we wanted to, we could lower this customer's contract down to 4.86. We could guarantee that rate for 60 months, saving them a little over $26,000. When would you like that to start? I'd like it to start right now. So we're going to click sign up. And of course, if they were already in the system, then when you click sign up, it's going to automatically put the contract together. Right now, we're just looking at the instant quote. So if we click sign up, it's going to ask us to put the customer's information in there, secondary. So any questions on the quick quote? No? So on the dashboard, you have enter a new customer and instant quote. So we've gotten the utility audit. We've uploaded it to the auditors, and then we jumped in our back office. We added the customer's information, and then we looked at the customer's information to do a quote. Let me see here. Maybe we can do it with this one right here. I promise not to mess it up. All right, so this customer uses how much? Let's see, what was their usage? I don't see that. Do you remember?
No, he's just a tiny little residential customer, so I don't even know what it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. Hang on one second. Let me get out of here. And get something that might make a little more sense.
Boy, that customer sure taught me a lot about 1,000 point deals.
What do you mean?
He calls me up and he says, I thought you said my rate would be 5.3 cents per kilowatt. And he's looking at his sheet. It's like 10.3 cents for the fixed rate. I said,
yeah, nice.
But he's happy now because I showed him what Encore, his utility, is also only offers really 1,000 point plans. And I showed him how our deal is way better than Encore's, and he's happy now. So
there you go. So, all right. So we're going to look at this customer that uses 878,000 kWh. And so we're going to go ahead and look at today's rates. And so the customer's information is already in the platform, so I don't need to go through and do all of that shenanigans. So I have mine set to 3 mils, but you can certainly set yours to whatever you want. And so we're going to come down here and we're going to filter the terms. Let's select all. And so there's 119 different plans available. Let's do by savings. So I don't think this customer would be too upset if I could save them $101,000. Obviously, still making a pretty good commission, but if I raised it to 5 mils, that commission would go up significantly and not have too much effect on the amount of the savings. You want to see? Let's do it. Just so you know I'm not kidding. All right, so we'll change it to, oops, I clicked too many times. One more, whoops, doggone it. Good thing it's Saturday. All right, so 5 mils, the savings was 101,000 and what was the commission, 13 something? I don't remember what it was. So the commission went up dramatically, but we didn't lose that much really here. I mean, I think the customer would be pretty happy with a savings of $92,000. And my commission went from 13,000 to 21,000. So I like that. And so from here, we want to put together the proposal. So we sent the customer an email for the utility audit. They sent the bill back. We uploaded it to the auditors, and then we went in and input all the information into the platform, and then we looked at the rates, and now we want to put together a a quote or a proposal that we can send to the customer, right? And so once we've done that, just so that you can kind of get a good idea, we're going to want to take 3 of the top available suppliers and include that. If you only have one supplier in the proposal, your odds of closing that deal without a follow-up phone call is dramatically lower, about 10%. That might be a little better than that, but typically it's a yes/no answer versus when you put 3 suppliers in the proposal, it goes from 10% to 70% without a follow-up phone call. Now, obviously, you're going to follow up with a phone call, and so that dramatically increases that as well. But my point is that you always want to include at least 3 suppliers when we put that that proposal together. So how do we do that? Well, right up here, you've got some links. This one is to email a link to the customer. So if you send that, it's going to ask you to set your mills and you're going to send it. And when you do, it's going to send a live link to the customer that's going to show them, however you've got your page set up right now, it's going to send a link to the customer so that they could click that link every day for the rest of their life. Uh, and as long as they're in the system. And every time they open it, it's going to take them to a page and it's going to update all of the information on this page based on whatever the market is at that time. So they're going to see the supplier, they're going to see the rate, they're going to see the terms, the savings, and the sign up button. They will not see the commission. They will see the sign up button. And since their information is already tied in the system, should they decide to click the sign up button, it's going to pull the contract for them, fill it out, send it to them in a DocuSign. They can open it and do everything all on their own. I don't like to rely on customers doing that. So when I'm talking to a customer, I want to be looking at it and usually follow up with, it's not so much how do you get the savings as much as when would you like that savings to start? Well, I'd like that savings to start right now. So click and away we go. All right. So that is the link to send the customer. That is a live link. Emailing the plans to the customer. If you click that link, it's going to put in their name and a place for you to put in some sort of a note. usually something that is going to make them move forward quickly, call to action. And basically what it's going to do is send in their email something that looks like this. So they will see the supplier, the rate, the term, and the savings, but it's a snapshot of when you sent that. It will not update tomorrow. It's just a snapshot of right now. So if I'm trying to get a customer to move quickly today, I might send that to them, let them know, say, hey, look, I can't hold these rates past 5 o'clock. Give me a call. Let's take advantage of what we've got, whatever. So that is just going to send a snapshot of the page. Generating a proposal is what we're going to want to do if we've got the electric bill and we've already submitted it to the auditor. So we're going to click generate a proposal, and we're going to select fixed all in. And from here, I want to just show long-term contracts. So I'm going to get rid of these smaller things and put just 60 months on there and click next. Well, let's go back. What else did we have? 60 months. And was there a 59 in there? Nope. Now let's go do this. Let's make a 48. All right. So we've got a couple of different suppliers in there. We're going to click next, and then we're going to select the top 3 rates that we want to include, whichever ones you want to do. If I want NG to be at the top, I could select pricing like this, couldn't I? So if that customer was looking at these 3 rates, which one are they going to pick? Well, they would pick NG, right? Because it's got the best rate. It'll have the best amount of savings. And NG is one of those suppliers that will pay up to 3 years in advance. Otherwise, we're all at 1 year. So, but I really want to do the customer right. So I'm going to take these top 3 right here. I'm going to include that. Hit next. And I'm going to include a futures chart. And it automatically imported the customers because the bill and everything is in the system. The system is now tied into the utility, and it pulled their historical data for the past 12 months by inputting that information. Otherwise, if you did this going through the quote first and then putting the customer's information, you would not have access to this because the customer's information would not already be in the system. The customer's information has already been input into the system, then the system will automatically, the platform will pull the usage for the past 12 months, and that's instrumental in getting an accurate quote. So we're going to generate a proposal. It's going to make me work for it.
Any plans to integrate the proposals in with auction pricing?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, like you can generate a proposal for Matrix, which is the proposals are awesome, but from what I recall, you said that if you're going to do an auction for somebody to get them the best price, that the proposal wouldn't work for that situation, or is that incorrect?
No, that's correct, because the auction is actually going to be pricing below market. So yeah, you probably could create a report that, would take the final answers and do it. That's something to think about. Maybe taking the final three and putting that in there. But if the customer was included in the auction, they have access and they're going to see it anyway. So, um, but that's something to consider. What happened to our thing here? All right, so I'm going to open this proposal. And so it shows the customer's information, your information on here, what they pay. And then when we look at the proposal, it's going to show that um, Green Mountain had the BEX uh, rate at 4.548. The annual savings is probably a little hard for you to see. It shows that it's $21,000. And so it'll show the top three here, but it will show the best, showing that it's Green Mountain. So the annual savings is 21,000, saves this customer 35% a year and a total of $86,000. I don't know anybody that would look at that and go, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. Let's just keep, overspending. And when we take all of the usage from their last year, it is going to include what their bills will look like moving forward. Well, they already know what their bills look like on a monthly basis. So when they get to see that, instead of spending 6,000 in November, they're going to be paying 4,100, or in December, rather than spending $5,600, it's going to be $3,700. This is puts in black and white for them, really to look at a year and know what that savings looks like. So when I save this, I am going to want to save this as the customer's name. So I'm going to copy the customer's name. I'm going to save as and put this in a place where I can save it and rename it. Probably want to get rid of the dots. And so I can save it like this so that when I get ready to send this to the customer, so I can save that. So now I've saved it as the customer's name. When I want to send this to the customer, let me get rid of this out of the way. I'm going to want to create an attachment, right? So I'm going to go up here, attach, and where is it? Download bills and straight line construction. There it is. There's the proposal we put together. And then I'm going to usually include some email of, you know, go over the details. Keep it really simple, right? And send it to them. So, um, you know, and I might put their name in here. So just like that. So the attachment, see attachment, and give me a call to go over details. The attachment's in there, send it to the customer, and away you go. So now you've already sent that to the customer, and now you can follow up with a phone call. Follow up with the phone call, say, hey, Bob, just want to let you know that I received your utility bill. Safe and sound. I've already got the auditors are underway. In fact, in the initial investigation, we also uncovered some additional savings in your electricity account. I sent you some information. When you have a chance, take a look at your email and give me a call. I'll go over the details. Keep it very simple. When they open that up and see that they can save $86,000, was that what it was? Yeah, $86,000. They're going to want to call you, find out, well, how do I make this? Well, explain it to me. Okay, so you can go over it with the customer. Then it's a simple process of When do you want it to start? Well, I want it to start right now. So if that's the case, then you can come down here to that button, whichever one it is that you selected, and click sign up. I'm not going to do it because this is actually attached to something. So click sign up and away you go. Let them know that they're going to receive an electronic signature request for their approval. Once they open that up, they're going to type in their name, hit enter. It is going to come back to the platform. It is going to attach itself to right here. So it's going to come back and attach itself to the system right where it came from. So you'll have a record of it. But when you go back in here, it is going to say, it's going to change the status from pending to signed. And then it will also send you an email letting you know that so-and-so signed their contract. Congratulations. So now you have a commissionable event. But once you finish doing that, it's very easy to call the customer back. Maybe you want to wait another day. I don't know. It's entirely up to you. But you obviously, they're a customer. They're doing the auction. I mean, the audit. You may want to follow back up with that customer and let them know that a lot of customers in their same industry also qualify for some additional cost centers that increase the amount of the refund. Let me ask you, do you use natural gas? Yes. Do you pay for water and sewer? Yes. How about dumpsters, waste removal? Yeah. Telecom or wireless? Yes. Shipping and freight? No. Cost segregation, property tax assessment, merchant processing fees? Oh, yeah, we have a merchant account. Workers' comp policy premiums, you have payroll, right? Yep. Do you have 401ks or 403bs? No. Okay. So I'm going to send a request. Should I get that from you, or is somebody in accounting better to talk to get a copy of those? That can significantly increase the amount of your refund. Maybe the customer wants to wait until the electric is done and see how that goes. You can kind of play that by ear, but by adding those additional cost centers, I've seen uh, I've seen audits go from $50,000 refund in the electric account with the other cost centers added to the refund going up to from 50,000 to over 800,000. So is it valuable? Absolutely. And it's obviously good for you because it can increase the amount of how much you make in the deal as well. So that's pretty much the essence of how to take the deal through the entire process. Now, we didn't cover how to do residential and we didn't do solar, but I wanted to make sure that you have the nuts and bolts for being able to do the utility audit as your door opener, and then going in and then looking at the electric account and seeing if there is something that we can do and provide value for that customer. And if so, then taking advantage of that and then following back up with the customer about the additional cost centers. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, any questions? Do a quick little residential. All of the residential goes through the front of the platform. Whatever your extension is also uh, your username for all of your logins. So if you put in your sales code and hit apply, you'll see it applied up here. So even if you get out and then go back into it the next time, it'll remember it. And so once that's in there, that'll make sure that anything that you do through the front of the platform uh, goes into your pipeline, because anything that you enter in here will show up in your back office just as residential. Now, obviously, the public can do commercial as well, except we have a lot more control when we do it from our back office. So we like to do all of the commercial from the back office. But for residential, we do through the front of the platform. Excuse me. And just put in the zip code of the customer, hit get rates, and from there, um, you can select all of the rates here. Now, again, it's only going to show the rates, the term, until we actually put in some sort of, whatever they're currently paying. If they don't know, I usually just put 11 in there and hit update just to update the platform, so it gives me kind of a ballpark idea of what they could or could not be saving. And so if this customer was paying 11 cents and I was able to lower their residential down to 6.0, it'd save them about $80 a month. So customer says, hey, that sounds great. Click sign up. And from here, you're going to put in their name, street, phone number, email address, and whether it's a house or an apartment. You're going to hit next. And when you hit next, it's going to go to a verify page, just like we saw earlier, where it's going to be all spelled out. You're going to look at everything. It may say, this address is, instead of lane spelled out, it might be, abbreviated, accept. And then once you're done, you'll hit the final submit button. And of course, you can do this while you're on the phone with the customer. And at that point, you can let the customer know that the system emailed them a verification link. And
Gotcha.
so once they click that verification link, then it immediately activates the account and makes it, you know, that becomes basically their third party verification just by clicking that link, because the system's going to recognize that your IP address does not belong to the customer that you're putting information in belonging to that address. But when they click the link, it's going to recognize that the IP address for that device, it belongs to the billing address. So
Gotcha. Is
make
that the same type of terms there that we can take them within 2 years, or if they're up to
No,
2 years?
residential is a little different. I mean, if their contract is, due to expire, usually you're dealing with customers. Uh, they may have a contract and they may have to pay $50 or something to break their current contract. If that's the case, then look, if I'm saving $80 a month, do I want to spend $50 to break my contract? Probably.
Gotcha.
I make it back in the first month. So it's a little bit different. I don't spend a lot of time doing residential, but they are pretty easy. They're one call close. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Sure.
So I've been having great luck getting people's commitment to send over some bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to be as detailed as I can. I don't overwhelm them with too many bills. I ask them the question, when do you think you'll be able to get these to me? But I noticed that half the time they just don't send them, and then you're following up with them, hey, what about those bills? So my question is, do you have any follow-up strategies that you personally use?
Well, when I'm going to send the email, well, first off, what are you doing what are you telling them when you are sending them the email for request?
I just kind of. What do you mean? What do I tell them? I just say, just send over those bills and we'll get started. That's basically the gist of it.
Okay. So what I like to do is say, well, first things first, let me send you an email so you have my contact information. That's important, so you know how to get a hold of me, so you know who I am. I'm a real person. and instructions on how to click the link and attach a copy of the utility bill so that the auditors can get underway. What is the best email address to use? Okay, 123 at maine.com. Perfect. I'm going to send that off to you right now. Do me a favor, see if you can open your email. Do you see it? Perfect. Great. All you need to do, is your bill in a PDF or do you need to scan it? Oh, it's in a PDF. Just go ahead and click attach, and attach that, and hit reply and hit attach, and away we go. Usually within 24 to 48 hours, the auditors are going to confirm with you that everything is underway and so forth. So that's perfect. Send that to me. Oh, you can't do it right now or whatever. Okay, so will you get that to me before the end of the day, or will that be first thing in the morning? I always try and narrow it down and walk them through it because I have them on the phone. And if I already spend a few minutes with them, what's another half a minute?
Yeah.
Because if there is a question, it'll come up. Well, I need to talk to the boss, or I need to talk to so you aren't the decision maker. You aren't the one who controls the cost. And that's what we had the first conversation about, right? Are you the person who controls the cost? Well, somebody in accounting might kind of think they are, but they're not the decision maker or something. So at the end of the day, just so that you recall, once we're done with the audit, one of two things are going to happen. You're either going to get a letter saying, congratulations, there are no errors, there's nothing else that needs to be done, or here is the report along with the errors and the amount of refund that is available. Do you want to proceed forward? So at that point, you can make up your mind whether or not it is valid, whether you want to get that money back, or would you rather continue to overpay? In the meantime, let's just get the auction or the audit underway so that we can find out if there are even any errors. I like
Okay.
to, if I got them on the phone, I mean, and if you've already set up the template, all you need to do is put in their email address and their name, right? Boom, boom, boom. Literally take you 15 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds if you use one finger. And hit it, and then make sure that that person receives the email, and just go ahead and hit reply and attach a copy of the bill. Perfect. Fantastic. I will follow back up with you once the auditors have begun the process. Is there anyone else that I need to CC, include on the information or whatever?
Well, that's a good idea.
Basically, close it up, done. But then you're not waiting for people to evaluate, to contemplate, to consider, right?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you
I definitely
because you
do.
don't know what they're thinking. They're like, yeah, I'll do it.
No,
Well,
just
you kind of answered my question. I mean, I definitely do everything you've mentioned, and that's a great idea. Sending the email right while they're on the phone. I do that too. And I'm going to incorporate what you said about like maybe CCing their accounts payable lady in right on. That's a brilliant idea I didn't think of. But say they just didn't send it, okay? And as great of a conversation as it was, you're talking to the president of the company. He's definitely a qualified decision maker. What would your follow-up strategy be with that customer?
I would follow up and say, hey, I don't know if I accidentally deleted it or not, if it went to my junk folder, but I didn't see your utility bill. Did you get that out, or do I need to talk to somebody in accounting? Always leave them kind of a little bit of an out so that I don't totally make them look like a jerk. Um, but I want them to know I know they didn't in a way, but I leave them a little bit of an out,
gotcha.
so it's not like I didn't get it. Where is it? I don't know if I accidentally deleted it. Did you send that over? No, actually I didn't. I was busy. I just forgot, whatever. Would it be easier if I talked to somebody in accounting who probably has a copy of it anyway? Yeah, talk to Mary Cotton Britches. Okay, transfer me over, you know.
Okay.
So whatever's going to work the easiest. I try and keep it very nonchalant, but at a point that makes them recognize I didn't get it. They know I didn't get it because they didn't send it.
We'll
Okay,
hook up and
perfect. Thank you. I'll be in touch. Thanks, Max. Thanks for taking time out your day.
Not a problem. Hey, everybody have a good day. We'll talk to you a little bit. Bye.
Thanks, guys. I'll be in touch, John. Thank you. Bye bye.
all right. Sounds good.
Bye bye.
See you guys.